guys, welcome back to A Little Less Lisa. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and this channel is all about my health, wellness, fitness, weight loss, maintenance journey. And if that sounds like something that interests you, I'd love to see you back here. Just click the subscribe button and the notification bell down below. That way you'll know every time I upload a video. So this video, I wasn't really planning. I definitely wasn't planning on making this video, but I saw this TikTok, and it's a woman I follow, and she has been on a GLP journey for, I feel like she first went on a GLP maybe in 2022. I think she's been on it for like 3 years. And she does a bunch of different content. She does some TikTok shop content and things like that. She doesn't only do GLP or weight loss or maintenance anyway. And she's been in maintenance for a while. I don't know how long. Quite a while. Long time, I think. Like probably at least 1.5 years or maybe 2 years. Something like that. And I saw a video where she had kind of talked about doing like this reset. And obviously people had some questions. So I'm going to show you the video here, and I'll edit it a little bit because there's some parts in the middle that may not necessarily be pertinent. And I'll have it linked below so if you want to watch the entire video. And then there's a second video that I'll show you as we move through what I want to talk about. But somebody had a question of, does that mean you are going to stop taking, I don't remember if she's on tirzepatide or semaglutide. Sorry, I don't know. But whichever she's on, somebody in her comments on the first video said you'd be planning on going off the medicine and then maybe restarting or something. And so this video that I'm going to show you here is in response to that question. So I will play the video and then I will come back and tell you my thoughts because it really hit home for me.
How am I going about my GLP-1 reset? People have had questions like, what does that mean? Are you stopping? Are you going off of it? Are you going to start back up? Are you resetting your body in some way? For me, it was more of a mental thing. I was getting really lax about doing my weekly dose. Like I was often forgetting it. Recently, I went 2.5 weeks without it because I forgot to take it before a trip. And in the beginning, the early days, I was like, shot day was the best day. I was excited. Like I couldn't wait to do it in the morning. I would do it early because I just was like so excited about this path that I was on. I was just reminded of how exciting the early days were when my friend on here, I think it's Profi Queen. She had bariatric surgery, shared her thing here. It's been a few years. Recently, some of the weight started to creep back up. And she decided to go on a GLP-1 and was sharing like, guys, this is life-changing. And she's like, my food noise is gone. I feel satisfied. Like all these things that I've been wrestling with my entire life are like so much better. And so seeing her talk about like how wonderful her journey is so far on this GLP-1 and how it's life-changing and how she didn't realize it was like this amazing. And it reminded me of like all those early day feelings. Like it was so revolutionary. It was so life-changing. It was truly like, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. And so that's how I was in the beginning. And I think when you get to maintenance, your priorities kind of shift again. I was just living in the moment and doing what felt right. And I was successfully maintaining like that for a really long time. I do work out. I am very active. I've never had muscles in the way that I have muscles now. I don't know exactly like how much I'm up. I think I still look really like when I, see myself in pictures and stuff, I'm like, I'm still really proud of myself. For me, the reset mindset is more of like the shift is that reprioritizing it again, redoing all the things I did in the beginning, prioritizing protein, making sure I'm getting enough water, really thinking about it, really spinning my wheels around it, which I hadn't done in a while. Now, there is the option for me to stop and restart. That is probably my next option. But I'm back on reprioritizing every 7 days, not missing a day, and, refocusing on all the things that I did in the very beginning. But at the end of the day, like with most things like this, our bodies do get used to it. And so it's something that I'm, continually thinking about and will always think about. If you have any questions, drop them below. Bye.
So the first thing that she said in her video that really was something that hit home to me was when she said that she's become very sort of lackadaisical with taking her shot. And she said he oftentimes forgets to take it, or I think she mentioned that it was like 2.5 weeks sometimes between shots because she forgot to take it before she went on vacation, something like that. But what I really focused in on was something that she said after that, which was that she used to, when she was in her weight loss phase, that she looked forward every week to taking her shot, and how it was ingrained. I mean, you did not miss a day on your calendar. And I mean, you were just like anxious to take that next shot. And I thought to myself, that is exactly how I feel. I mean, guys, I don't keep track of my shots anymore. And we're going to talk after I sort of talk about this video and things that resonated with me. And then I'm going to talk about kind of maybe how I plan on maybe doing my own reset, but we'll get to that. But I just, like I said, I don't track my shots anymore. I don't track when I take them. I don't track what dose I take. Not that I really change up my dose, but for a while I was like splitting doses and doing it closer together. And anyway, my point is I don't track anything. I did just take a shot 2 days ago. Did I log it? No. And I think prior to that, I think it was like 2 weeks when I took my last shot. I don't know. That's my whole point, is I have no idea. But yet, when I was in my active weight loss phase, just like her, I looked forward to every week. I couldn't wait to take my next shot because it was like, that's what I need to do because now I'm gonna lose weight. I can't wait to see what the scale says the next time I step on it, that kind of thing. And it's just so interesting to me. I would love to hear from those of you if you are in maintenance. So I've been in maintenance now for pretty much a year, I guess, now that I think about it. I mean, I've continued to lose some weight after I kind of got to what I thought was my sort of final goal. But I continued to lose some, but I wasn't trying to lose weight necessarily. I think when you're in maintenance and you are trying to find that balance, right, between what dose you're taking and how often you should take it, you're titrating down, for example, or are you staying at the same dosage, but you're going to space out? It's, as I've mentioned many times on this channel, maintenance, there's no formula to it. It's really a trial and error. It's something that you have to figure out for yourself. What's right for me or what works for me is not going to be the same that works necessarily for you. To be honest with you, I think we've now all figured out that actually taking the medication to lose weight is really the same way. There is no prescription per se, right? I mean, it used to be when they first came out with the medicine, when they did the studies, it was, they trade up every 4 weeks until you get to the maximum dose, and then you just stay on the maximum dose. Obviously, now that mindset, that philosophy has changed, and so most people only move up in doses when they see their weight loss, stagnate and the needle isn't moving anywhere, right? You're basically in a plateau for however long, and then okay, it's time to move up in dose, right? Or maybe you're starting to hear food noise again, or you're not feeling that sense of fullness really anymore. So those are cues that you want to move up. But that whole concept of moving up every 4 weeks is really been thrown out the window. And so honestly, any part of the GLP journey is pretty much trial and error. But again, there were no studies done. I think they are doing some studies now on maintenance and what that looks like and things like that. But for the most part, what you do in maintenance is kind of between you and your doctor, right? And it's trial and error. So because of that, you're still kind of losing little bits, maybe not losing consistently, or again, not necessarily trying to lose weight. But my point is, I've really been in maintenance. This is October now. And that's about, I think it was in September when I sort of hit that, what I thought was going to be my ultimate goal weight. And so I think I did a decent job of tracking it, at least for the first couple months, because again, because it is so trial and error, you really want to make sure okay, so I took it this day, so let's say I'm going to stay on the same dose, but I want to space out my doses, right? You really need to keep track and be attuned to your body and listen to the cues and things to know, took it a week ago, feel like I'm doing okay. Day 8, still doing all right. Day 9, starting to hear food noise again. I'm getting hungrier, or I'm eating, doesn't that same amount that I ate 3 months ago doesn't satiate me as it did before, those kind of things. Okay, so maybe 9 days is where I need to take next shot, that kind of thing. So I think you still are paying attention and still are pretty focused on tracking and things like that as far as your shot is concerned. The beginning few months of maintenance, right? So until you sort of find your groove and figure out what works for you, you're still paying pretty close attention. But then at some point, it just kind of becomes, I don't want to say it's an afterthought, but, and I don't know, again, it's probably different for every person, right? I mean, if you're somebody who, really experienced extreme hunger or, really sort of, ferocious appetite, then maybe you really do still pay attention because that feeling starts coming back. And so that's a very reminder to you to take your shot, right? I never really had that. I just like crap. And we're going to talk about that in a minute here. That point that she talked about how that excitement and that just, can't wait to take my next shot really, really hit home for me. And then she was talking about another creator on TikTok who I also follow. I think her TikTok account is the Profi Queen. So she does a lot of protein coffee content. And she had bariatric surgery. I don't remember what kind. And apparently, I don't remember how long ago she had it, but in her maintenance journey, she started seeing some pounds creep back on. And as a result of that, I guess she made the decision with her doctor to go ahead and get on a GLP-1 to try to take some of that weight that she had regained back off. And again, and I kind of went back and watched a few of her videos, but she was expressing, I think, what all of us do in the beginning of when we first get on this medication of, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I'm not thinking about food 24/7. It's not, I'm not feeling that pull to the pantry and what is there to eat? And ooh, should I eat that? I just ate something 15 minutes ago. Like, you're not hungry. Why are you thinking of food? But that sounds really good. Those things that go through. And so he's experiencing that sort of euphoria, right? Of those side effects that you get from the medication of not hearing the food noise, of having that emptying slow down and that feeling of fullness for much longer and things like that. And yeah, that's all pretty much gone for me. And so it's just really, that's really interesting. And so that was sort of the first thing of that video that really hit home for me. So now let's watch this most recent video that she posted.
A lot recently about how I feel like my GLP-1 just like isn't working the same after 3 years and I'm on the highest dose. And I think I figured out how to communicate why. So first, people are asking me like, do you have food noise? Like, why is it? And I'm like, and I'm like, no, I don't really have a lot of food noise. And I'm like, maybe it's just my mindset. Maybe I'm just like so far removed from it. I'm working out, I'm strength training, I'm building muscle, I'm stronger. I have muscles. Like I've never seen muscles when I flex, and I have muscles. According to my Oura Ring, I am lit up, like active, like I'm at 99 to 100%, like every single day on my activity score. I'm like moving a lot. But last night I was thinking as I was going to sleep, and I'm like, I have the food noise. And I was thinking about like what I ate for dinner. I went out with some friends. I wasn't even that hungry when I went out with some friends. Like I didn't feel hunger. But I ate a piece of bread before dinner, and I ate my entire dinner. Like the whole meal. And that's when I started thinking back. What's different now than what was going on 3 years ago when I was in my active losing? And what's different now is my ability to eat larger portions. Because I'm not eating bad. I'm not eating amazing, but I'm not eating differently than I have been pretty much the entire time. Like minus the beginning when I was like hardcore logging every single thing, making sure everything was like buttoned up perfect. I then moved into a place where I could eat intuitively and like listen to my body and my body telling me when to stop, etc. And that was a great place to be in, because if I wanted a birthday cake dessert at a party, I could have the cake. Like I never got to live in that space before, and it was like such a beautiful space to live in. But what's happening now is I'm still doing that. I'm still like, I'll order the dinner that sounds best to me, go out to eat with friends, or, we get takeout, but I am not getting satisfied as early as I used to be. So I will find myself eating more, like eating my full portion. And before, in the beginning, the first couple years of this, I couldn't eat that much. I was eating, but I could eat maybe half the portion, right? And save the rest for later. Or I eat 3/4 of it. Or, I'd have some left over and I'd feel full. And it was such a beautiful place to be in. That's what's changed. So I feel like with this information, I can better like better work on it. And just what I'm going to focus on right now is giving myself smaller portions. So if I order food at a restaurant or something, just like immediately taking half and putting it aside, because I think that that's what's different. And if I feel like I need more to be satisfied, then I need to start logging and counting and making sure I'm really accurately looking at what I'm eating. And I hate the word diet. I hate it. It's but I don't, it's just something that we have to wrestle with and can constantly think about. So anyways, I just wanted to share that. Bye.
So her first video was really focused on how that euphoria and the excitement and how it just sort of kind of falls by the wayside of taking your medication. And you did mention that she did have the option, obviously, if she wanted to do a reset of doing it by going off the medication and then coming back on. If I remember correctly, she is on the highest dose, so she maintained on the highest dose. So obviously for her, going off of it could be pretty monumental, right? And I don't know, maybe it doesn't really matter what dose you're on. I don't know why I think that somebody who's on the highest dose going off would feel a bigger effect than if I went off the medication being on 5 milligrams. I don't know why I have that philosophy. I have no idea if it's true or not. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. But this second video that you just watched, she talks more about eating and about how he had gone out with some friends and how he ate a piece of bread and then she ate her full entree, and how she realized that what used to fill her up earlier on in her journey doesn't fill her up the same way now. And, I can certainly speak to that. I mean, I will say that I have absolutely noticed that. I mean, that's been something that I've noticed for quite a while. Now, I would never want to go back to how I was when I was on the majority of my journey. So I would say up through probably close to when I started on maintenance, my ability to eat was extremely constricted. I mean, I was one of those people who would eat 4 bites of something and then I literally felt like I had food up to here kind of thing. That gradually went away. Now, would I say that I would eat a full portion? If we went to dinner or something and I ordered an entree, would I be able to eat the whole thing? No, but I certainly eat way more than 4 bites. Now, I'm not saying that I eat too much. I've been always pretty good about eating leftovers home and not eating my full portion. I think my issue is that I really don't eat full meals. I mean, I do at dinner. I mean, normally I will have something for dinner. Sometimes I have something for lunch. A lot of times I don't. I have been snacking like crazy. So this is me confessing to you guys, coming clean about the fact that I'm not eating the way I think I should. And to be honest with you, I think it's really impacting how I feel physically. I think one thing that she mentions in her video is she still is really focused on working out. And, I think she talks about, when she sees her muscles in the mirror and how she's got muscles that she's never had before and in the kind of the best shape of her life. And I would say the same thing. I mean, it's so funny how much she mentions in her videos that I really, really resonate with. I mean, it was like tick, 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 lots of things. That kind of thing has all been very consistent. But do I drink? I don't even drink 64 ounces of water anymore. I drink probably, if I work out in the morning, I probably get a good, probably 32 ounces if I'm guessing, because I usually drink like 1 full water bottle plus like another half, because I think that my water bottle that I'm using right now is like a 22 ounce. So, probably getting about 32 ounces when I work out. And then I will drink again at night. During the day, I drink my protein coffee. That is an absolute must. I haven't certainly given that up. And then I generally drink what I'm drinking right now. I'm drinking an energy drink. And I won't start drinking water again until around dinner time. And we don't generally eat dinner until like 7:30, sometimes 8, depending on what it is. If I'm making dinner or if we're just kind of fending for ourselves type of thing. And so maybe I get another 40 ounces or so. I generally drink at least one full water bottle, and then I probably fill it up and drink. Probably on workout days, I'm probably getting 64 ounces. But if I'm not working out, which is 3 of the days, I'm probably only getting maybe 40, maybe 50 ounces of water. I used to consistently drink at least 96 ounces of water. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not tracking my food. Now, again, back to the TikTok video. I'm not sure that it's healthy to track your food to the extent that I think a lot of us track during our weight loss phase, right? Every single bite I logged in my app, and I was diligent about tracking every single thing and tracking my grams of protein and making sure I got at least 80 grams of protein. And if I got to 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night and I was short, I'd go grab a little thing of yogurt to get another 12 grams or whatever it was. I was very, very focused on my protein intake and getting that in, and not necessarily focused on making sure I didn't overeat my calories, because I was struggling to get in enough calories that really wasn't an issue for me pretty much ever during my weight loss phase. But just very, very diligent about tracking them. I don't track at all. And while yes, I don't think it's healthy to track to the extent that I was tracking during my weight loss phase, but I don't know. It's a balance, you guys. I was going to say, but I think maybe you need to track somewhat, but I don't know. I would like to be able to eat intuitively. And I think for at least the first 4 to 6 months or so on my maintenance journey, I was eating very intuitively. I was just, eating when I was hungry, and I was still kind of focusing on protein. I do not focus on protein at all. Now, I always get my protein coffee in, so I'm always getting a minimum, and I'm making it a new weight now. So I'm really getting pretty consistently, probably 40 to 45 grams just with my coffee. But I'm sure I'm not getting the 90 to 108 or whatever I was supposed to be getting before. I mean, I don't get anywhere close to that. I was so focused. I'm just thinking about it now and just how different it is. And I think I don't feel great about that. I feel kind of sluggish. I'm not gaining weight. So I'm not having this conversation because I'm seeing the scale creeping up. And so I feel like I need to rein it back in. I'm talking about this because I just don't think I feel at my best. I feel great from the standpoint of working out, right? I feel really strong in my body. I love when I look in the mirror when I'm working out and I see my biceps and my deltoids and just all of it. It makes me happy because I really can see the work that I've been putting in. But as far as my eating is concerned, and like I said, my water intake, it's not good. And so I want to do something about that. So I had started a challenge. I don't even remember how many months ago that was. And then I think basically the shit hit the fan with stuff that was going on in our personal life. And it just went to hell in a handbag, as they would say. And I didn't continue with the challenge. That must have been April, I think. I would like to bring some of that back. I really want to focus on my water intake again. I mean, I just think that's important. I did like this skin analysis the other day, and she said, "Oh, your skin is pretty dehydrated, and a lot of us don't drink enough water." And I thought, well, a year ago, I drank tons of water, and my skin probably had been much more hydrated. Anyway, that was just a side note. But my point is, I really want to refocus on getting my water in, not waiting until the end of the day to get some additional water in. And of course, then I'm drinking at night, which means I get up at least once in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, which disrupts my sleep, which also doesn't help, right? When I did 75 hard, this was back in 2020, I guess, 2020, 2021, I was drinking my protein coffee. I didn't allow myself to have my protein coffee until I had at least 32 ounces of water. So I think I want to go back to that rule. I'm not going to go to a gallon of water. I think that's a little overkill, but I really, really want to focus on getting 96 ounces of water again. So I'm going to do that. And then I really want to focus on protein. I have got to stop snacking. I mean, while I'm not gaining weight now, it will happen. I mean, especially depending on what I'm snacking on. But and it's not even, like I said, a matter of gaining weight. I just think that I will feel better if I eat more whole foods and, focus on actually getting meals in as opposed to, eating a handful of mini saltine crackers now and then 45 minutes later going to the pantry and grabbing, 6 Nilla wafers. A lot of carbs are getting eaten right now, let me tell you. Okay. Well, my phone just told me that I ran out of space. So I just took like 15, 20 minutes to delete things off of my phone. So I don't really remember where I left off. But I think the bottom line was just that basically I want to refocus on protein. I want to start tracking more. Again, not really calories so much, but tracking my protein and tracking my water. I think those two things will get me back on track and hopefully have me feeling better just physically. I just want to stop eating crap. And maybe then also by refocusing on tracking my shots, I think I'm going to go back to weekly shots. I think at least, again, getting back into that rhythm, tracking. I don't even track my weight anymore. I mean, I guess it's technically tracked because I have a smart scale, so it registers in the app and I could go look back, but I don't really weigh myself anymore on a consistent basis. It's kind of every, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, something like that, just sort of when I feel like it. So again, I think, at least going back to weighing weekly, tracking my water, tracking my protein, tracking my shots, taking my shots on a consistent basis. Whatever that cadence is, I'm not 100% sure yet. I just said that I would take it on a weekly basis. No, we'll see. I don't know that I need to take it on a weekly basis, but it needs to be a priority, I guess, right? That's what I guess I'm trying to say. So please let me know in the comments below, especially if you are in maintenance, are you feeling this same way? If you've been in maintenance for a while, do you feel like, it's sort of like the honeymoon phase is over? And again, to some extent, I want to feel like a quote unquote normal person. Again, air quotes there. I don't really know what a normal person, or if there is such thing as a normal person, but I would like to try to, again, eat intuitively. And I don't want to have to track every single bite of food that goes in my mouth. And so I don't want to go back to what I did in my weight loss phase, but I think I've gone from one extreme to the other. And I would like to find kind of a happy medium of where I'm putting in my body what it really needs, but yet also being relaxed enough to, if I want to have a cookie, or if I want, out to dinner and I do want to have dessert, or I do want to have a glass of wine, something like that, that I'm not psycho about it, I guess. I'm not, obsessive about it. I can have those things, everything, I guess, in moderation. You don't want to tell myself I can't have 6 Nilla wafers. I'm not saying I can't have those things that I've been eating. It just shouldn't be the majority of my diet. And I don't say diet from the standpoint of being on a diet. I'm saying that from the standpoint of what I'm putting in my mouth, right? So what I'm eating. I don't want that to be the majority of what is sustaining my body, because I don't think it's sustaining it in the most optimal way. So again, let me know in the comments your thoughts. What did you think about these 2 videos? I thought it was really, really interesting. I do have another TikTok video that I may kind of comment on. We'll see how that goes. I did have one of you, based on my last check-in video, who asked me to do a video on sort of body dysmorphia and kind of where I am with that and my thoughts and just how I deal with it. And so I told her that I would do that video. So you'll definitely see that video coming as well. And I know I told you in the last check-in video that I would be doing one about sort of if I were restarting, what things I would do differently. I do still intend to do that. But I just saw these TikTok videos over the last couple of days. And as I said, they really resonated with me. So I wanted to make this video while it was fresh in my mind, but also because I want to do these things that I'm talking about. So I will definitely report into you guys, because I do think having kind of an accountability partner, and that's why I started this channel to begin with, right, was to talk to you guys and tell you how my weeks were and be accountable. And so maybe that should be another thing. I know I keep trying to wrap up this video and then I keep adding more things. I think I need to go back to weekly check-ins, because I really got out of that as well. Mostly just because I think they kind of got boring. I mean, it's different when you're reporting weight loss, right? And you guys want to hear, oh, how many pounds did you lose this week? Or did you hit plateau? What are you doing? All those things and how it was going. And when you're in maintenance, it's just, I don't know, kind of feels boring. So I stopped doing them on a weekly basis, but maybe to kind of get back into that groove of taking my shot on a regular basis, drinking my water, getting more protein in, tracking my protein, that kind of thing. Maybe doing a weekly check-in would be another thing I should do. So, all right, enough said. Let me know how you feel about some of these things. If you have any questions, again, not medical advice. I'm not a medical practitioner. I can only answer questions based on my own personal experience, but I'm happy to try to help if I can. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help the algorithm. And if you enjoy this kind of content, as I said in the beginning, I'd love to see you back. So click the subscribe button and the notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to a YouTube channel. It's completely free, but it really does mean a lot to us as content creators. If you want to keep on watching, there'll be another video in the corner here for you to watch. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.